Back with me now is Indiana Governor Mitch Daniels, author of a new book, Keeping the Republic, Saving America by Trusting Americans. Governor, I've got to ask you about this whole issue of executions. In your time in Indiana, you've executed 9 men. Obviously, it's always a hard thing to do. You've had appeals for clemency that you've rejected. As you see what's going on today, various parts of America, what is your view of executions generally? I mean, if you had your way, would you dispense with them? Do you believe that it's becoming increasingly unpopular? There are far less of them now than there used to be. There are less murders than there used to be in America.
No. Piers, it's the one thing I was least prepared for in taking on this assignment. And the first such decision came, and the first 2 or 3 came very quickly. I don't understand anybody who says they don't have at least some ambivalence about this subject, really on either side. In our case, I'll tell you how we resolved it. After an awful lot of thought and reflection and counseling with other people, the people of our state have said very emphatically that they believe that, at least in the most extreme cases, this penalty is appropriate. And I've decided it was not for me to substitute my own any individual judgment I might have for theirs. But we are very careful about it. I read the files twice myself. Our rule is if there cannot be a scintilla of doubt about guilt, and secondly that there must be clearly the most heinous kind of offense involved.
But do you personally believe in the death penalty?
I believe there are circumstances in which it is warranted. I have now had to confront some of those. I've commuted a sentence and approach each one really from the standpoint that I very well might. I will tell you that at least in our state, this is a diminishing issue because I don't know that any jury has imposed this sentence on any defendant. Now, for quite some time, I may have missed somebody.
Well, that is beginning to spread around America. I mean, my sense is that it's going out of fashion, that more and more Americans are saying, do we actually need to do this? If there can ever be doubt, why have it?
This is certainly what juries appear to be doing. But again, I will say that the people of our state, I can't speak for others, have expressed in clear terms their belief that it ought at least be an option for the worst of the worst of the worst such offenses. And but I freely admit that the loneliest nights I have spent as governor are those in which we impose this sentence and we wait until the very last minute to make certain there's not a good reason not to.
Let's move on to the presidency, the campaign next year. You ruled yourself out when many wanted you to rule yourself in, and you kind of cited family reasons. You know, you happy marriage again. I want to come to that in a minute. It's curious, set up your marriage over the years, and then you've sort of flirted now, it appears to me, with the vice presidency option because your governorship ends just bang in time for you to be the VP should the Republicans get in. Any truth in this theory?
I'm not flirting with anything. You know, a whole string of people keep bringing it up. I think it's the silliest question in our politics.
Do you have absolutely zero intention of ever being vice president?
Yeah, I have zero intention. And,
really?
and zero expectation. And it's all in someone else's hands.
Could it ever change? If somebody asked you to be, would you say no?
Well, I think that's something that a person ought not say, but it's so hypothetical and improbable that I don't spend one, I promise you, I don't spend one...
improbable. I mean, if I was someone like Mitt Romney or, you know, John Huntsman or Rick Perry or whoever it is, and you get the ticket, who would be better than Mitch Daniels with your record as governor? So it's not improbable that they're going to ask you.
Off the air, I'll give you a long list.
Would you say no if one of them asked you?
I can't tell you the answer to that, you know.
Well,
we'd probably have to have another conversation in the family, and I don't know what they'd say.
And as a politician, you know that that's basically a yes.
Well, you're too cynical, Piers. you know,
I'm not cynical, actually.
We Americans are not...
I'm trying to be positive here.
Yeah.
Tell me about your marriage. Do you ever think that might be a problem for you politically, or is it an asset that you split up from your wife, you get divorced, and then you get back together and get remarried? It's an unusual state of affairs.
Yeah, well, I always say if you like happy endings, you'll love our story. And so I have no idea. You know, I've never presumed to tell a voter what's important and what isn't. And everybody's entitled to decide for themselves. And but you know, I think I'm the most fortunate person you'll interview this year in terms of both the family I have and good things that have come along in life, and so I don't spend a minute worrying about it.
Well, I'm glad it ended happily for you, Governor. I really am.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining me.
I enjoyed it.
Much appreciated. Good luck with the book.
Yes.
When we come back, two presidents and a top fashion designer and how they're